So
Woo! So now we can look at your market today.
yeah, there was a different. I want to look at Page, Arizona, but
Okay.
depending on time, maybe we can get into Utah.
Okay.
Um, but David was here first, so I'll let David, if he's got something specifically here he wants to go over.
No, man, go ahead. If you
All
don't
right,
mind, if
so
I
Hey,
just
let's
listen and learn. Yeah.
okay, well let's Jason, you go first and then we'll pivot over to David and then maybe even get into Melissa's because this is recorded so we could send it back out and we could even send it to Melissa afterwards so she could see it too. So Jason,
we
now that we have your markets, let's look at them.
heck yeah. So I've got a few things pulled up, unless you want me to tell you where to go, Matt.
Yeah, you want me to here, I'll pull it up on my end here. And then okay, so here we go. Can
Oh,
y'all see that?
sweet. Yeah, awesome.
Okay.
Cool. So you can see right there, yeah, right there, that's Page. But go up to the like, yeah, no, you're good. You see where there's like a little at the border? That's the area I want to look at
Right
yeah,
here?
yeah,
Tell
yeah.
me, so what's interesting about this area right here?
So Lake Powell, you can see right there. It's a pretty big touristy area at Lake Powell, but
Okay.
also it's within like an hour and a half drive of like 3 or 4 national parks, including the Grand Canyon.
Okay.
And so there's just like a lot like from there you can go see. Um, so this doesn't have like so this is like a development community right here, this Green Haven
Yep.
area. Um, and it's very STR friendly, which is good, but it seems like there's a lot of competition. And
Okay.
so um there and I can't even so
Pulling
I
up.
there's one property that I like, but I'm
Oh,
I'm
yeah, I've
cons
seen this is the area with, like, all the cool
yeah. Yeah, so that's the what's it called? Like Horseshoe or something. Anyway, so yeah, it's like very outdoorsy, a lot of hiking, like,
yeah.
very picturesque, beautiful area. So my wife and I have been looking at that Greenhaven area, and there's a lot of like empty lots, and so they're like going to be building a lot of new homes. And
Okay.
so I'm looking at what the comps say today, and I'm like, okay, things look good, but I'm also concerned like long term, is the market going to get saturated, and is there just going to be a ton of competition? So
Mhm.
I'm trying to think of like both like today, but also like long term.
Yeah. Now, let me pull up my screen again so we can see this.
Okay.
Okay. So, are you seeing like, is there just very limited for sale properties in this area? Like, even on Zillow when you look there?
Yeah, so I actually have reached out to like the developer or the company that's like overseeing the development of that area, and
Yep.
they've got a lot of open lots. So like this is what Zillow currently has, but there's like other properties that are coming up in the next like 60 to 90 days that are going to be
Okay, so
added to
we're not
that.
missing any MLS for this, right? So, like, this is kinda what you would see normally?
Yeah, yeah, like on
Okay,
Zillow, that's probably pretty accurate. Yeah.
gotcha. Are you interested in this area too or more, like, south of this border?
So I would say I'm interested in some areas a little bit beyond that. I mean, I guess potentially, yeah. There's just I do like some of the properties there. I'm just trying to gut check like even well, you see where that clump of red is over to the left? Like we're interested in that area too. That's um
More on the north side or south?
north.
This side? And
Yeah.
what's the draw over here?
Um well, there's a lot of traffic that goes through that area on the way to Zion National Park, and then also down south to the Grand Canyon.
Gotcha, okay. Well, why don't we look at one here and then one on the other side, and we could just flesh it out together if you want.
Cool.
Um,
Yeah, sounds good.
you wanna do this one first? You wanna go over here first?
I do want to go to the one on the right first. Yeah.
Page? Okay.
Yeah.
So, okay, yeah. So, yeah, when you get more competition coming in here, I mean, that will be more competition, but at the end of the day, like that's a pretty small subdivision compared to maybe millions of people or hundreds of thousands of people that will be visiting. So I guess it kind of depends on how much visitors you'll see. Because like as an example, if you go to Broken Bow, you'll see just
Yeah.
like clusters of properties everywhere. So relatively speaking, that's honestly not that much. It's just do you anticipate a lot more kind of popping up around it? Um, so let's do this. I'm going to do revenue to purchase price ratio. And here's an interesting one that's popping up. So it's a 3 bedroom. Do you have a preference on, well, going back to what we've talked about in the past, your number one thing is cash flow, right?
Well, I'd like to no, I would say number one thing is, like, the tax benefits for
Okay, tax
2026,
benefits. Okay.
but I obviously would want cash flow with that, so
Yeah. And then do you want it as like an experience-based property too, or is it kind of optional?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Okay. So kind of all of them if you can, but mostly tax benefits and then cash flow.
Yeah,
Let's do this real fast just to get an idea. Did you see that we added the tax calculator here?
I did, and I like it.
So have you run that through? Like, how much taxes are you trying to save? Do you know?
Um, it's really more about, like, balancing what we can afford right now with getting some tax benefit.
Okay, gotcha. So how much capital do you have to actually deploy in like a down payment and capex?
Um, I would say about 100K.
Okay. So if that's the case, which by the way, I think we're gonna add in like a capital thing here. So like you could plug in that and it'll filter properties out. Just as a heads up, is an idea we're thinking about. Um,
Cool.
so if we were to do that, you probably need to stay underneath 100K all in. So at least under like maybe 700 or 600K.
Yep.
Probably closer to 500 is where I'd try to be. Let's do that
Yeah.
first. Okay, cool. So now there's 3 properties we can look at. So out of these 3, here's a 4 bedroom. So this one shows a little bit higher, but this one's showing interesting potential too. Which one of these do you kinda like better?
Yeah, I lean towards the 4 bedroom, the larger one.
Right here?
Yeah.
And this shows like okay, cool. Let's go look at this guy then. So this is kinda what it looks like. There are a lot of, like, boxy type properties out there?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so if the developer is basically just turning these suckers out, you'll have to make sure there's enough land to really, make sure it looks good. So this one is 15 Good Hope, 4 bedroom. Um, that is this one right here. No.
So it's the one up top.
Yeah, because I just wanna see on the visually. Okay. Okay, cool. Let's go dive into it. So, there's no STR restrictions?
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's very STR friendly.
Well, look at that strong option, STR income near 100 annually. Okay, cool. So let's go analyze. Do you think you can get the price down a little bit, or you feel like that's probably where it's gonna be at?
That's probably where it's gonna be at.
Do you wanna convert this garage at all potentially?
Yeah, I guess we're open to that.
It'd cost $40,000 to do it, so I don't know, you may just wanna leave it a garage and put it in, like, a mini split and turn it into, like, a game room or something. That's cheaper
Right.
than, like, doing, like, the full garage conversion.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. That sounds more realistic.
maybe for now, let's hold off on that and just see. So, here's something kind of fun. We just added this in where each tier that you click on, it automatically updates your startup costs for you. Have you seen that yet?
I have not.
So yeah, each tier, if you're like wanting to hit a certain tier, it'll like factor it in based on AI looking at pictures and like giving recommendations. So it's kind of crazy. So this is saying if you want to hit this upscale tier, which in the description it even said it has possibility to make 100 grand. This is saying you probably need to invest 76 grand plus another nine. So that seems like that might be too much with your budget you're looking for. Does that feel reasonable, or is that a little too much of a stretch?
So that renovation cost, I mean, this is a new build, so when it's talking renovation cost, I guess, is that like that's not furnishing, like, what do you think that's going towards?
It'd mostly be a lot of, like, cosmetic stuff, like paint, wallpaper,
Okay.
maybe, like, mini split in the garage, doing some, like, light touches to the property, plus the furniture. So to, like, furnish that sucker, depending on if you do it or
Mm,
hire a group to go do it, like, this is probably if you were to go hire someone to go do it, but if you were to do it on your own, you might could get that down to, like, 40,000 or 30 or 25,000. Um, but
right.
it's just gonna be a pain in the butt to do it. So it depends on if you want help doing it or if you and your wife are gonna do it.
Yeah, I think we were thinking of, like, doing it ourselves. Just for today, let's just say, like, the numbers work out, like, all of that. I think more of my concern here is, like, I like the property, but when I look at comps, I see a similar property that's not doing well.
Okay, let's go look at it.
Um,
And you've been looking at the comps here?
yeah.
Okay. So this again, let's go back to the details. This is saying I like to look at the details just to see what they're showing. So I don't know where they're getting this from, but that's an interesting just data point to be aware of. Um, okay, so this is a four-bedroom property, not 40. Okay. God, those are four bedrooms. Yeah, so this is showing for these properties here, this range. So what were you looking at when you weren't seeing comps? I mean, were you looking at the comps dashboard?
Yeah, yeah. So, I mean, all of this is what I've seen before. It's just as I was starting to click into those individual properties, like, there's some that are doing well, some that are really are not doing well. And there was one in particular that I was like, this looks like a similar layout. Maybe it's a little bit of an older, like not older, but it's a few years old. It's not an old home.
Mhm.
Um, and I'm like, did they just, like where did they? And I'm trying. Let me see if I can find the right one. So I filtered by revenue, and then at the lowest revenue, there were a
Yep,
couple
this
at the
one
bottom. Yeah.
that one's showing 50,000, which I mean, the pictures are okay on this, but
Yeah.
it just looks like they put in furnishing, some cornhole. I mean, not I don't think there's a hot tub or anything in there,
Yeah.
but that to me
So I
feels
get
good, like, lower comp of like, "Hey, if you just threw furniture in there, you could probably make 50
yeah.
grand on it."
Yeah, I guess I was like, what do I need to avoid, or what do I need to do differently than some of these that just really aren't doing that well? There was one that, like, did have a hot tub and some other things. I was like, this looks decent. Maybe it, can be designed. It just wasn't designed all the best, but it had some of the amenities, and so um, that's some of the stuff I was trying to think through.
So it looks like there's only 3 properties with a hot tub that it's showing. Um, this one so there's 50,000, 90,000, and 115. Well, 50, 80, 113. So let's go look at this
Mhm.
guy as maybe a good comp. This has shuffleboard in it, games, okay. I mean, again, these pictures are pretty bad.
Yeah.
Um, that's a bigger property though. It looks
Hmm.
so yeah, I mean, to me, if I were you looking at this, Let me just delete that out of here. I'm seeing. Well, let's just do here. Let's do one more thing. 3 to 5. Another thing you could do is go down to 3 to 5 bedrooms just to kind of get a bigger understanding. And this is saying
Mhm.
a hot tub is like the top amenity. So I would say
Right.
for sure have a hot tub. Um, but the truth is somewhere probably right in here. So like that 80 to 90 grand if you were to go do something. I mean, you might could get up here, but you would have to really trick it out. But based on your budget, I would say you're probably going to expect like 80 to 90 grand. I mean, there's possibility for that. But let's just see what this looks like. Sorry, my son's coming to say hi. I love you, buddy. Hi. Okay, go see mommy. Love you. Sorry.
All
So
good.
let's go analyze this real quick. So we'll leave it there. And again, yeah, it's kind of in this middle range that we were talking about. Do you have any
Yeah.
good local agents out there, by the way?
Not that I know of yet.
Okay. We might have some recs that we could send you. So let's see, 55 to 69. Okay, so your ADR is probably going to be like 550. Yeah, there you go. Or maybe 500 on this thing. Call it 50% occupancy. Does this feel reasonable on an average daily rate based on have you ever stayed out there or anything?
I have not. Um, I'd have to dig into that a little bit more.
So I mean, again, based on what I'm seeing, that kind of puts you right in here, which is kind of in alignment with this
Yeah.
ADR we're looking at, plus that occupancy. So let's just see what this looks like here. So 50/50. Um, you're gonna do the furnishing and design on your own. Okay. If you buy this thing, you'll do 10% down payment, right?
Yep.
On it? Second home
Yep.
loan? Okay, so we'll do that. So the total cash required based on what I'm doing is like 147,000. So we got to figure out a way to get that down.
Yeah.
And so let's go back to your furnishing and let's just say, let's see what your total cash required. Is this still too much? You're going to try to keep it at 100 or less?
I mean, if we delayed until later in the year, like, because one thing we're thinking about is like just timing, of like when we would get this up and going, because this place has more properties that are gonna be over the next 6 months that they're gonna be opening
Mhm.
up. And so that creates an opportunity for timing, but also um,
Yeah.
then brings in my concern of like now there or is there gonna be a bunch more competition when that happens?
Yeah, I'm just thinking if you don't do 50,000 and you go with something less, then that's where I'm gonna get really concerned about, like, the revenue. So let's just say kind of a worser case, like, you go hit this 85 or a little less. Um,
Mhm.
let's just see here what the mid skill was. That was 75. So let's hit 75. Let's just think about worst case scenario. And 45. Oops. Okay, this should get us pretty close. Okay, cool. 75 grand in revenue. And then let's say you only do like 20 or maybe like 30,000 in design furniture
Mhm.
and maybe only like 5K in like paint wallpaper. And then y'all would manage it on your own, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Insurance might need to juice that up a little bit, like 3,500 bucks.
And then just real quick, on the
Yeah.
cleaning fee, I mean, I know this kinda auto-populates. For all of
Mhm.
your properties, like, do you take care of the cleaning fee on any of them, or are you, like, charging that to
I mean, you could do arbitrage on your cleaning fee, so you could charge like 300, but your cleaning fee is only 150. So it's like that now it's like a pricing strategy of like, do you just charge a higher
Yeah.
cleaning fee and lower? But it all kind of averages out. That's where you'd want to talk to like a revenue manager, like Synergy Stays or something like that. to like figure out how to fine tune it, or you could do it on your own through Price Labs. But that's like a whole nother operational conversation. But I would say this is probably pretty accurate. Like, I think we usually assume about $60 per bedroom. So that would be 6, 12, 18, 24. So $240. Honestly, might even be a little less. And then we usually assume about 4 cleans a month, which could be more, could be less. So it kind of works out generally close where you need to be on cleaning fees. And then what I'd probably do is add in another, like, I don't know, $2,500 a year for miscellaneous. And so what this is telling me after looking at all of this is, even with the interest rate at 7%, kind of your worst case-ish scenario would be you have this really cool property in, Page, Arizona that pays for itself. It breaks even, essentially.
Yeah.
So, I don't know if I know you want it to cash flow. But I've had properties where, like, this is a scenario that I'm okay with, because then you go to the tax calculator, and let's just see how much would that $499. Okay, so basically 500, 490. And then you spent, what I say, like 35. Look at that. So I mean, you would save 50 grand by doing it. So the perk of that would be, you buy property in Page, you save 50 grand, which is basically your down payment, and now you have a really cool place to go, like, stay with your family. But there's like a jillion of those types of properties out there. Now the only other interesting thing to this one is there's always more upside that you could put into it when you're ready to do the capital. So, like, say you bought it, you at least save 50 grand, but then all of a sudden you're like, all right, I'm ready to, like, juice this thing up and spend, call it, 75, 80 grand. Now I might can get up to this, like, 100,000, or maybe even just, let me juice that down a little bit and do like 550, get up closer to like 100 grand. I mean, that's when you can actually get up to like a 20% cash on cash return. So, you don't, what I've learned is capital is the number one barrier to, like, success for us normal folk out there. Right. And so, you see all these people and gurus, like, going in on this thing and they're crushing it. Well, which is fine. But a lot of people that are capital constrained, like most people, it's not a bad idea to, like, kind of phase into it over time. Like my Fredericksburg property, I bought it, and then now I'm slowly doing renovations over these, like, 4 or 5 years to, like, continue to optimize it higher and higher and higher. So it's still not a bad idea to do it. You just won't cash flow like crazy in the beginning if you don't put in the capital.
Yeah. Makes sense. Cool.
Cool. Well, there's that one. So overall thoughts on that after evaluating it?
Yeah, I mean, I still like it. There's a slightly different layout that they have a property that's going to be finished here in the next, like, 30 to 60 days that we're super interested in, but just wanted to gut check some of that stuff.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, like, it looks like this is an opportunity there, which basically this means a 20% cash on cash return. It's just, do you feel comfortable spending that capital? Because it feels risky, right? And you don't want to put yourself in a bind if, like, that's liquidating the farm for, depending on y'all's situation.
Yeah, totally.
So
Cool.
Let me close the door real quick. 1 second. We have our 4-month-old that it's been interesting past 4 months. It's been fun, but newborn, they keep you on your toes. Okay, so we evaluated that one. How about this, Melissa? I know you had a question about a property. Let's look at that one real quick, and then let's come back to Jason and David on some of these other markets they're looking at. Melissa, do you want to tell us a little bit about the property that you found?
Yeah, sounds good. Hold on, I'm trying to turn on my camera too. Oh, here you
Okay. And by the way, I
go.
found a strike that I can pull up too while we're looking at it.
Yeah, I was starting to run some info on it.
Perfect.
I like my own report.
Is this your first property?
It'll be the first short term.
First short terminal? Awesome.
Hmm.
Is there a reason you're looking in the Poconos? Do you live around the area, or you just like that specific spot?
Yeah, there's a reason. So this property is one that my husband and I would like for his parents to be involved with. They
Cool.
are restaurant owners and operators, and they're in their 60s, and their bodies are breaking down. So we wanted something that's still engaging their brains and minds, and like physically engaging, but not so taxing.
Mm-hmm.
And I have it's under my name, but a long-term rental in San Francisco that I've just been holding on to. Now with the AI boom, it's a good time to sell it. And
Oh
so I
yeah,
thought,
are y'all just having a
why
ton
not?
of demand back in San Francisco? Really?
Yeah, there's it's the market's picking up there.
Good.
I don't know that I would do a short-term rental in the Bay. It's complicated and inexpensive, but
Yeah.
I digress. So from a tax savings perspective, it's actually not ideal for us this year because my husband's in a residency program. I left my tech job and I don't plan to go back into it.
Okay.
So we're actually at the lowest that we expect it'll ever be in terms of an income, but maybe
Okay.
there's some like creative tax deferrals that we could do to when he starts making money after residency. But
Gotcha. Okay.
we're looking in the Poconos because his parents are based in Bergen County. And so we want something that's within a 90-minute driving
Mhm.
radius from there. And so that's why we're looking in the Poconos. It's an established market. It is saturated. So that's why we're being really thoughtful in terms of
Yeah.
where we look. And we know that there's restrictions. I actually connected with Mark Shea.
Mhm.
He
Very
posted
good.
on the
Yeah,
forum somewhere. So
the agent?
sorry?
Yeah, the real estate agent up there?
That's correct. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. So yeah, this is a property that seemed interesting.
How did you find it, by the way? Were you just on Zillow and found it?
This one might have been, no, there's a couple of properties that I found on Zillow, but this one, I think Mark in his MLS, he set up an MLS feed to me and it spat this one out.
Yeah, this one, I really like it. I mean, just I barely have looked into it that much, but I know Poconos pretty well from just talking to other people.
Yeah.
And so when I was talking to either Mark or someone else up there, they kind of gave me like a geography visual of like where to look. And honestly, this area that you're talking about right here is amazing, along with like a lot of these other spots. Um,
Hmm.
so I think it's really interesting. I mean, even from an initial analysis, like without diving in, it's like already indicating really interesting numbers. And
Yeah.
so, do you want to dive in and
Yeah.
see
Let's do it.
what it shows?
Sure.
So the number one thing I've learned about Poconos, one, price point is usually pretty good up there. But two, you want to try to get to like 5+ bedrooms from what I've learned from other investors and agents. So the fact that it's 6 bedrooms, it looks like it's 4 bedrooms plus an additional space, is good. The only negative is there's only 3 bathrooms, which is not horrible. But you want to try to stay at like at least 50%
Yeah.
ratio of like bathrooms to bedrooms. So it's still okay. Um, so let's go analyze it. There's no additional space to really convert, it looks like. So we'll leave it there.
Yeah. Yeah. I
Um,
didn't see a garage.
and what I would do is again, I'm just going to kind of take you through my thought process. I'd be like, okay, well, how can I get it to this upscale, knowing, hey, there's possibly this like premium percentage, but this is probably realistically where it'll be. Well, let's go verify the comps and let's just see what that shows next.
And I think the occupancy is a little deflated in terms
Yeah.
of, yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, it kind of depends on like, do you want higher ADR versus occupancy? And so the numbers could roughly
Mm,
be the same. It's just, which strategy do you want to take more of?
yeah.
Um, So let's just see what this shows here. So it's a 6-bedroom. In a 5-mile radius. Have you gotten on the tech very much to look around?
I did my call with Leslie just this morning, so,
Okay, so
I did
brand
look
new.
around myself, but then she helps me, make
Okay,
sure it's clicking the right things.
cool. So what this is showing, there's 600 comps in a 5-mile radius. So what I would do is I would button this up a little bit to like a 2-mile radius and see maybe even like a 1 mile. See what's going on here. Okay, there's
Well,
just a
that's
lot of
interesting
comps.
because I had in talking with Mark at least, and maybe this is a glitch potentially, because in talking with Mark, there actually are more traditionally 3-bedroom places in the Poconos, just given the history of how the area was built
Mhm.
out as second like vacation homes. So it's actually
Okay, let me
rare for there to be even a 4-bedroom with the like converted to a 6.
Oh, it looks like the tech was just taking a second to load. Let me
Okay.
zoom out a little bit here. Okay, so there's 12 going to a 3-mile radius. Okay, within a 3-mile
This
radius,
looks
there's
more
15 comps.
yeah.
Yeah. Let's go out to like a 4. So 18 comps now, and let's see what 5's at. Okay. This feels pretty good. I like to have at least like 10 comps kind of support. So this feels pretty good. So yeah, this is showing if you're average, you're probably like 120. If you're better than average, like 150. If you're one of the best, like tricked out with like all that crazy stuff that John
Yeah,
Bianchi is doing up there, you're probably
sure.
like 200. And so let's just see. It looks like, um, would you be open to like pets allowed for
Yeah.
the property? Okay. And then let's just see what some of the comps look like there. Oops. And look through some of these. So that's kind of a basic
That's
one.
a really big house.
Let's see what this guy looks like.
Yeah, at first glance, it looks pretty similar to this property.
Yeah. What I've noticed, like with most of the comps out there, they usually have just like crazy backyards and spaces. So
Yeah.
this might be a cool one to even look at. So, oh, that one's kind of a similar comp, like with that balcony,
Mm,
cool space. So this one's making, it shows like 112. So there's a lot of these like in between this like 100 to like 170 range,
mhm.
knowing there's possibility above and lower. So what I would do is probably underwrite based on this like 150. So let's go back to the app. Yeah, this is showing pretty close, but maybe juice it up a little bit, like you said, on the occupancy
Yeah.
and maybe get closer to like 150. Do you feel pretty comfortable with that?
Yeah.
Okay. And then expenses, we're estimating like pre-populating about 125,000 for furniture and expenses. Do you feel pretty good about that, or would you want to juice it up or down?
No, that was about what we're because with the selling the property that's, in San Francisco, I think we'll have,
For a down
half
payment and closing costs, or just
Hey,
down for
down
or
payment
no?
and closing. Yeah, so there's a timing thing that we'll have to,
Okay.
work around
hey,
there,
Matt
but
and
even
Melissa,
yeah.
just FYI, this particular property, I've been looking in the Poconos for a while.
Oh, yeah.
This property is a turnkey. Now it's very gray on the inside, but
Yeah.
it's being offered as a full turnkey.
Sweet,
Um,
okay. So there's a lot of furniture
um,
you could use and just do updated bedding and all that stuff.
I would imagine, and this is. I was just there last week. I didn't tour this property because it was actually pending last week. So something happened, and it's
Oh, did
Mm,
it?
back. It's back for sale. But it it's you should be able to ask for. I did, and they gave me something. It's really hard to follow, like the rental history for the past
Mhm.
few years.
oh, you looked into
And
this particular one,
yeah,
you
and I can't remember what it was, but it was. I want to say it was closer to that 130 range is what they were doing, and so on. But I just can't
Probably
recall. But it is this at least was in the offer when it was for sale about 2 weeks ago before it went pending. So
So let's
Yeah,
just
I've seen. Yeah, there is like I
hopefully
think
that
like an
helps.
extended. No, that does help. I did see on the MLS listing that it did come back on the market. I'm not sure why, but
yeah.
perhaps because it was an extended escrow period, perhaps,
Yeah.
and it seems like the seller is just really motivated.
So let's do this
It
then.
also has central heat and air, which is very
Yeah.
rare up there.
Yeah.
Very rare.
Yeah. So basically what we're showing here at 147 is like right in between this upscale premium for that. And that's a good comp that you said, David, that's doing like 130 right now. So, 140, 150 isn't unreasonable, especially if you freshen it up. But I think to David's point, we could probably reduce this down a lot based on what's currently there. So, Melissa, would you be doing the install on your own, or would you have to hire someone out for that?
We'd hire someone out for that.
Okay. So I've done a lot of projects and they usually come in more expensive than I want them to come
Yeah.
in. Honestly, I'm probably thinking you're going to spend at least 75 grand if you were to have someone go do it for you.
Yeah.
And that's for like even the outdoor space and all that stuff too.
So that 75 grand would be, what would that cover in your experience?
Well, thankfully there's a lot of good bones, so you could just do
Yeah.
like wallpaper, bedding, maybe some like neon sign or whatever, the design. You would just need to talk to like a good designer.
Yeah. Maybe some furniture color
Yeah.
swatches and
If I were you, I would spend most of your money on like the outdoor stuff.
yeah.
Like I don't know if this one has a hot tub or not.
I
Does it
think
have
I feel like I think it did.
Okay, it already has a hot tub. So like I would think about all this cool outdoor space, like how you can do some cool improvements there. There's a group called B&B Construction you could even talk to, but like you could do like a cool fire pit thing, maybe putting green, maybe bowling, just all sorts of fun stuff. David might even have some other good ideas, but that's where I think a lot of the attention is going to be focused is like, hey, cool place to stay, but like that's what's going to separate you and make you look different. And so I would say at least 75, maybe more, but this overall kind of gets you closer to like 100 grand budget. And then would you
Quick
manage on
question
your own?
though, between the 75 and that like 13 that the system spit out, what would the 13 be for?
Usually when you see renovation cost,
Yeah.
that's just showing how to get the property kind of up to par with like paint, wallpaper, kind of just the look of the actual interior of the property itself. Where this is more like the actual furnishing, amenities, all the fun stuff.
Okay. Thank you.
So, you could reduce this down. This just is AI looking at all these pictures, giving
Yeah.
recommendations. And then, yeah, again, you can go customize that. So let's just go through. Would you manage on your own?
Yeah.
And then utilities, taxes, insurance. There is HOA, I noticed. So that's like, I think 12 grand a year. No, I think it's like,
No, this one per the listing at least, it said it was actually $100 a month, so 1,200.
oh, okay. For some reason, I thought it was on a monthly level, but if it's only 1,200 bucks a month, that's awesome. And then I'd say you're probably gonna need to factor in some other miscellaneous stuff, like hot tub maintenance and yard maintenance, all that stuff. So would you do 10% down?
Well, question here too, because on the expenses, like the Pocono area does charge sales tax. Like, how does that get factored in? Like, would I
Great
just have to add
question.
another expense line?
Yeah, probably just need to add another expense and call it sales tax, and then would it be on the revenue?
Yes. Yeah.
So like an
And
HOA.
it charges on top of the cleaning fee too.
Okay, so let's just say 147,000. What is it, like 7%?
I think it was because there's that the county level and then also the local level. It varies, but I think in total it's like 9%.
Okay. So that's like 13 grand a year.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Okay. So then let's go to next. And then would you do 10% down payment?
I think we could do 20.
Okay. And then, so interest rate, I mean, you might could get that a little bit lower if you're at 20, but
Yeah,
do you want to stay at 7% just in case?
sure.
Okay. I mean, so overall, it's showing like almost 5 grand a month, 27% cash on cash return. And it seems like there's even more upside potential if you're able to like spend more capital to juice it up, especially when you see this.
Yeah.
So to me, like, I think it's a great opportunity to go after. David, what do you think, man? I don't want to make you jealous.
Ask for the uh, past year's rental history.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem to jive with what it's real hard to follow the information they sent versus other places that I have received rental history. So check it out.
Yeah.
And
Do you recall the reason why you passed on this one?
I think it was
there were other opportunities. The only there's very few places in the Poconos that allow STRs. Emerald Lakes is one of them.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just very subdivision-y, if that makes sense. So I was looking for a place that's a little not subdivision-like, even though most of the places that allow them are in subdivisions. So there's nothing wrong with it. It's just other opportunities as well, and not just in the Poconos. So trying to analyze it all.
Yeah. Well,
It's a good price point, though.
Yeah, I think so too. But you have more knowledge in the Poconos than I do. But when you say subdivision, what does that mean?
Oh, subdivision, just like a neighborhood of houses,
Oh, okay.
You drive into an entrance and you drive around, and there's houses pretty close to each other and that kind of thing.
Gotcha.
It doesn't feel as, I guess, as exclusive or like private, maybe.
Yeah, it's not private. That's true.
Yeah, I see. Like, there's other houses pretty close by. Yeah, and it looks like there's like limited yard. I mean, there is some yard, so like, you just want to be able to maximize like that space out here.
Mm-hmm.
I think.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I would, go talk to the agent out there because really, again, that's what we try to preach a lot is like, hey, strike gets you there like 90% super fast, but like the local people, what I would do is I sent the link in the chat. I would take that link that has the full underwriting, and then I would send it to can't remember his name, Mark, and I'd say, hey, Mark, this is what we're showing. Like, can you help make me feel more confident about these numbers here? And if he's like, looks good, then I'd rock and roll.
Okay, cool.
So, I mean, overall, I think those look pretty like pretty good numbers.
Yeah, they do.
So,
Alrighty.
okay.
Thanks.
Well, cool. Well, David, you want to chat about something?
Sure, brother.
We're ready.
I'm looking in a couple of places, and I don't know if it's like taboo to say, but like Scottsdale, at least look at it because as I've been looking at some, if bought in the Poconos, you miss the high season. By the time you get it all summer-led design, get it installed, do the thing, and I have free time now as I'm in between jobs on purpose. That you miss the high season almost completely, and then it drops off. The worst month, by the way, Melissa, is September, and October is not very high either. So it take a long time to hit that peak again. So I was just chatting with Claude about season that don't have, and I saw Scottsdale's kind of like the summer season is actually slow season.
Yeah.
So I was just curious, so I started looking. I know Scottsdale's like there's like everybody and their brother has an STR there, but if I put in some pretty strong filters, it's giving me a lot of 10s. and there's some that are just crazy. And would you look at them?
This is one I found that I think is interesting. But we can. Is there any one that you found
Well,
that?
there's well, I could share my screen if that helps.
Yeah, you want to share
I,
it?
sure. Where is it on this one?
I mean, honestly, I mean Scottsdale does have a lot of
There we-
competition, but it's kind of a tried and true market. Like there's a lot of demand. So it's like
Yeah.
Pigeon Forge. There's just a lot of demand for some markets. So
Yeah, which is crazy to me. I live 45 minutes from Pigeon Forge, and it's like all the locals, you definitely don't go there. But
I know.
the mountains, absolutely. Pigeon Forge, if you like arcades and airbrush T-shirts and go-karts.
That's hilarious.
But a lot of people love it, and Dollywood is awesome. So,
Yeah.
but it's saying it's awaiting.
I
now
just
it's doing
do
it.
it. Yeah. If you want to
Okay.
try now.
So you can see the screen now.
Yeah.
Okay. So there's some. This looks like newer houses that they're building, but this is showing. And I have it set on upscale, if that makes sense. By the way, the new additions you guys are adding are like really great, especially
Awesome.
this.
Yeah,
This is
cool.
something I asked Leslie for literally like 10 days ago, and it's already there. So
All right, baby. We're just
Great
taking all
job.
this feedback and making it better.
I know. So here's one that this is just insane, and is like, is this real? And then this house, the picture looks a little bit strange, but say something like this. Is this real? Is this really what Scottsdale's like?
Well,
So
why don't
I don't know. I don't know Scottsdale very well, but I'm interested in learning if this kind of stuff is real.
why don't you pick one that you really like that actually looks realistic? And you just have to be careful with like some of these condos or duplexes.
I think I have it set where it's only single family, but sometimes it'll pull them in. Maybe.
Yeah, there's so many MLSs. Sometimes it's hard to like
Okay.
get it exact, but
Well, let's say this one.
let's go check that one out. Yeah. Does it have a pool?
It doesn't.
It doesn't?
Now this says a little bit strange. It's like, but we have more like this coming soon. So they're building these, and this says it has high confidence.
So the high
And,
confidence just means there's a lot of comps supporting.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it looks pretty. I mean, it doesn't look designed, but it looks nice.
Mhm.
And does Scottsdale really perform at that kind of level?
Well, does it? I mean, yeah, I know some properties that are crushing it, but usually you have to have a pool
Pool and
to do
yeah,
well. Does it?
it has outside. It had like a
Yeah.
kind of a basic area. No,
Mm.
nothing, no pool type area, but a pergola with a
Yeah.
pool table. It is a pool table, outdoor pool table. Never seen that.
Yeah. Oh, so these are like turnkey.
Yeah, that's what it looks like.
Yeah. So I would say, I mean, I think there's opportunity, but I don't think it'll make 250 because it doesn't have a
Right.
swimming pool. So if you want to go analyze it, we could.
I actually have another client, David, that's looking at this house. When I was on another page, and when I heard you say outdoor pool table, I was like, "Oh my gosh, I remember seeing that today." But yeah, I think they were gonna make an offer on it, or they have an offer and they're waiting.
Wow. Okay.
Oh, under contract in 8 days, so
Here, let's.
maybe
Yeah, and then it said, but we have.
yeah.
Huh. Well, let's do this real
So-
quick to see what the
Yeah.
real estate numbers are probably like on this. So go analyze that.
Mhm.
And one thing to note, click on the pictures.
back up here.
Yeah. The first thing I notice and just be thinking about is you want to look for additional ways to increase the number of rooms or square footage because
Mhm.
convert that garage to a game space or a room, whatever, it increases sleep count plus amenities. And if you convert the garage, it increases square footage. If you were to ever do like a cash out refi, one
Mhm.
day, so just heads up that the garage is an opportunity. It just depends what you're going to do there. Now,
Mhm.
if you click off of that, let's go to the
This
second
one?
tab. Yeah, revenue. See, I would go back down to mid scale probably,
Okay.
and it's still showing a decent return even at mid scale. And then go verify comps because to get to upscale premium, you
You're
probably
saying it mid-scale just because of what it offers,
yeah.
no
I mean,
because
it's
there's
got
no
a putting
pool and
green. It's a nice house, good location, but there's a lot of nice houses with good location in Scottsdale, so it's probably going to be like a mid scale type property.
okay, okay.
Which is still, I mean, but if you ever, I mean, you could put in a cowboy pool, I don't know, or do something else that's unique,
By the
like
way, this is what it just FYI, for me, this is from time to time, it just gets stuck, and then I'll do it again,
oh,
uh,
sometimes I don't know what it is.
and then sometimes it comes up without that left panel,
Yeah,
but
honestly, what I would do,
sometimes it
because it's like pulling in that address as it's like doing it. Go
mhm,
scroll up real quick um,
scrolling.
on your main,
Oh, here?
yeah, and then go copy that address up there,
Mhm.
and then click on the little hamburger thing on the top left, and do comps that
Right
way.
here?
Yeah, this
Okay.
way for some reason, the comps that are allocated to that address, it just works slower versus just going directly to the comps dashboard. This will be
Okay.
fixed 'cause we're rebuilding the comps dashboard for like a seamless experience. But that'll be done in the next like 15 to 30 days.
Okay.
Can you now reshare your screen for the comps dashboard?
Oh, sorry.
Oh, you're good.
I've been doing the alright, um, share screen. Let me just do the whole screen, this
Okay.
one. Okay. So, so you need to say 5 beds, right?
Yeah, I do 5 bedrooms. And then I would reduce the radius once you're done with that to like
Yeah,
maybe a 1 mile radius.
come on. Okay. Yeah, because there's too many.
Yeah. And then let's see what that it might take a second to load. Oh, you gotta click on, max bed on the left. Perfect. Okay, so there's 49 comps right there.
Mhm.
Um, Now let's go to 2 mile radius just to bring in a little extra and then see what that pops up. Okay, cool. So this is showing mid-scale 113, yeah, upscale 200. So what this is showing me and then click on exclude common 90,
Mhm.
gym, hot tub. So yeah, basically what this is saying, ooh, you could put in a gym in that garage. Uh,
Yeah.
you could put in a hot tub and but it looks like, a pool has like a negative delta, which basically means everyone probably has a pool. So there's I think 2 unique differentiators are a gym and a hot tub, probably like a, golf simulator, I would imagine. Um,
Mhm.
the only difference is you're not gonna have a pool, so you have to discount it because of that. So that's why I
Mhm.
think you'd probably be in that, like, mid-scale range, maybe between mid-scale and upscale.
Yeah.
Um, but if you go click on that table view and then
Okay, and then look
do
at,
hi do yeah, real revenue, highest to lowest, and then, I mean, all the top comps, you're probably gonna notice a pool. So I would go
Yeah.
down closer to like the 100 to 200,000 range and see if you can find some comps that are kind of closer to what you have to justify it and to give you some interesting insights.
Here's a new 5-bed. Okay, let's see. Very similar.
Yeah. Oh, hey, one thing you could do is but it's got a
that's
swimming pool. Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's just
Is there a way to say, in AirDNA you can these amenities, add them with these amenities and without those, like
on the
like-
bottom left.
Mhm.
Sorry, I know we only have like a minute left before we got to jump off. On the bottom left, click amenities and right there, and then do
Yeah.
pool,
Okay.
and then click off of that,
Mhm.
and then it says has pool. Now click it to where it says it doesn't have pool.
Okay.
So now
good
you
to
can
know.
actually update the comps, or they should update. Well,
Yeah.
there it
Okay.
goes.
Yeah. It's
Now-
it's changing.
Yeah. So that
Okay.
should now update your comps with stuff that does not have a pool. And look at that.
Perfect.
The number one differentiator of those is a gym.
Huh.
So
And a
now
hot
what I
tub.
would do is I would go back to your app and you can come back to the comps dashboard here. You go to revenue. Scroll down a little bit.
Here.
Yeah. So 150, I honestly think, you might can make more than that, but somewhere around
That's super
150.
low occupancy. Yeah.
But the average daily rate is really high. So, it balances out relatively close to, that's probably what you would expect unless you put in like a gym that could get juice it up to like 170 to 200.
Okay. But it's good to search around this.
That's a great
Scottsdale
location though.
area.
So what I would do, I would take that property and
Mhm.
find a local agent there and just get their opinion. And then that way y'all
Do
can
like a
start
buy
talking.
box for.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then y'all could reiterate and rapidly go back and forth on stuff. If they ever find off market deals too, you could just go
Yeah.
analyze it real fast and strike.
Okay. Hey, appreciate it, man. I know time's up.
Awesome. Hey, thank y'all for joining us. Jason, sorry we couldn't get to your other one. But let's keep doing this. Leslie's got an office hours on Friday if anyone else wants to jump on, and then I'll be back on Monday. Let's go win some deals, guys. Y'all keep us posted if y'all move forward with any of these.
Yeah.
Hey, man,
Will do.
how's your son? And
He's doing better. Thankfully, his X-ray came back good. He had a bump on his ribs for some reason. They don't know what it is. There's just kind of a larger bump right there. So praise God, it's not anything like a lump or anything. It's just his rib cage just kind of comes out a little bit further. So
okay,
thankfully,
hear, man.
Fine. Well, thank you.
Maybe it's what do they call them? A cyst, a bursa cyst, I think is what I get on my wrist sometimes.
Yeah, maybe. Amanda said it was you could move it a little bit.
Yep.
But it felt kind of hard.
Yeah.
I don't know, but it is weird. When your own kids, you think they have something, and it is kind of terrifying.
Yeah.
But I praise the Lord that everything is good. So thanks for asking, though.
Amen. Yeah.
Well, all right. Well, hey, yeah. Until next Friday or on Monday, feel free to even send deals in the chat, and we can even keep collaborating there as well.
Are you guys still doing the
Great.
Monday? It's Memorial Day.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Let me see here. Classroom.
Thanks for bringing that up because I did not even think about
Well, honestly, I'll probably get on anyway. It's on my calendar, so if anyone wants to jump on, you can. But no pressure if anyone wants to take the day off. But I'll be available.
Cool. Sounds good.
Great.
Okay.
Awesome.
Thanks,
Matt.
Okay. Bye.
Thank you.
it.